Hello everybody, welcome back. And this popped up on my feed this week. Apparently the possibility of a Mad Max game, although because this actually took place a while ago, it could point to the fact that maybe the game was being made and got cancelled at some point and never we never got wind of it. But the idea of a new Mad Max game suddenly has me thinking, what would it need to do to actually succeed in a world where we've had some incredible open world games like Spider-Man, which has all the elements of an open world game, but innovated with the traversal, where for me that was the key thing that made it so enjoyable. The moment to moment of traversing the city was incredibly enjoyable. More recently, Dying Light 2, another open world title that was very polished. At least in my experience, I didn't run into as many bugs as many people, so I can only speak to that. And really enjoyed the traversal in that as well. And I could also go to Ghost of Tsushima, where that's another title where they put a great deal of attention and focus on making just getting around the world a really enjoyable experience. And with the addition of the wind as your indicator to where to go, we got some really nice innovations here in the open world genre. I would love to see a game like Mad Max 2 adopt a few of these or make innovations of their own, because I think Mad Max, as much as I really enjoyed that game and it got swept under the rug, a lot of people didn't play it because I think at the time other stuff was coming out, and it was seen for many. It was seen by many as the Gennaro open world game, and it kind of didn't get picked up by a lot of people. I think undeservedly so. It was really good fun and really enjoyable for me, with great combat. It had like a palpable feeling in the combat when you connected hits. I think they had a lot of cool stuff going on, as well as the partner that rode with you in the car, Chumbaka? You guys remind me in the comments what his name was. He was always in the trunk, right, and messing with stuff. And the driving was great. The world looked great. Sandstorms, weather systems, very cool stuff. But for me, they need to add a little bit more to the sauce to make it unique at this point, with all the new stuff we've seen and improvements to the genre. So today we're thinking a little bit about what would be those elements that they could add. What would you like to see in a Mad Max 2 game? Leave your thoughts down below, and I'll also share with you what I think here. So I already gave away that for me the big improvement in the last years has been traversal and the enjoyment that the game gives you just exploring and looking around and getting around. So for me, Mad Max 2, you got a little bit of homework to do. Find a cool way to make the traversal in the world. And I know I've said that word so many times in this video. You must forgive me. Just make driving around really fun somehow. Or maybe add more vehicles. I don't know. I'm not a game dev, right? So don't use me for your ideas. But I think there needs to be something there. Something new, something a little bit different. Next up for me would be customization. I would love to see amazing customization options when it comes to the character, the vehicles, weapons, all this kind of stuff. In an RPG, I love that feeling of I own how I look, how I present myself. And the other thing I was thinking about, and I think a lot of you may disagree with me here, but I would love to see a bit of a deeper RPG system when it comes to perks, skills, and all this sort of stuff. I'd love to be able to choose a path, so to speak, and maybe you're the kind of guy who's going for a greedy approach where you can get a lot of loot or a lot of rewards, but it costs you in some way. Maybe you're not as good as fighting, right? Or maybe you can open certain places or chests that others can't, but then you sacrifice on some way. I love this kind of trade-off in these games, and being able to have an identity or like a build that I'm going for with the character. The last thing I'll say is weapons, right? Mad Max already had some cool weapons, but for me, throw in some dope, crazy ass weapons in there, explosions and things like that, to kind of spice things up. I would love to see some awesome weapons. I always look to Borderlands 3 in this respect, and just how creative they are with their weapon selections. There are so many different types. I mean, in Borderlands 2, you had a weapon that it was like the Spanish gun. So when you shot it, instead of bullet sounds, you just heard someone screaming very loudly. The joke being that us Spaniards speak very loudly in conversation, and it's a cultural thing. I'm not saying I would want to see that in a Mad Max game, but just creative weapons and a cool weapon selection would go a long way, I think, to elevate the game. So those are my thoughts. Would love to hear from you down below if you agree, disagree, if you have ideas of your own. And remember that this week we're playing Horizon Zero Dawn for the first time together. Our first impressions live on stream on Twitch. Links for that down below. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.